In the 1990s, a Friday night trip to Blockbuster was a ritual for millions. Families, couples, and college kids wandered the aisles, picking up VHS tapes or DVDs, often paying late fees and grabbing popcorn on the way out. Blockbuster was a cultural phenomenon. With over 9,000 stores worldwide and nearly $6 billion in revenue at its peak, it was unstoppable until it wasn't. And the company that helped destroy it? A tiny startup with no stores, no late fees, and no real market to share, Netflix. But what most people don't know is that Netflix itself nearly didn't make it. In fact, the company once offered to sell itself to Blockbuster and got laughed out of the room. This is the full story. How Netflix rose from the fringes of Silicon Valley to become the world's biggest streaming service, how Blockbuster ignored the storm brewing under its nose, and how both companies made decisions that nearly ended them. This is the tale of disruption, arrogance, innovation, and survival. Let's begin. Blockbuster, the king of home entertainment, founded in 1985 by David Cook. Blockbuster was built to scale from day one. Unlike the local mum-and-pop video stores that came before, Blockbuster offered a bright, family-friendly experience, computerized inventory, and a massive catalog of movies. Within a decade, it became the go-to destination for home entertainment. In the 1990s, Blockbuster was adding a new store every 17 hours. Its iconic blue and yellow signage was instantly recognizable. Late fees, hated by customers, generated hundreds of millions in revenue. The company even had plans to launch its own streaming service, long before the internet was fast enough to support it. By the year 2000, Blockbuster was at its peak. Over 60,000 employees, 9,000 stores, and an empire worth nearly $6 billion. But it had one fatal flaw: arrogance. The birth of Netflix out of a frustration. In 1997, Reed Hastings was frustrated. He'd returned a copy of Apollo 13 late and got slapped with a $40 fee by Blockbuster. That pain, combined with the rise of DVDs and the growing potential of e-commerce, sparked an idea. What if renting movies was as easy as buying books on Amazon? Hastings, alongside software executive Mark Randolph, launched Netflix in 1998. The idea was simple: rent DVDs online, get them by mail, and return them at your own pace. No late fees. Initially, it didn't catch on. In fact, by 2000, Netflix was losing money and struggling to scale. So Hastings and Randolph went to Blockbuster with an offer: buy Netflix for $50 million. Blockbuster's CEO laughed. "That's a niche business," he said. It was a moment that would define both companies forever. Netflix finds its footing. Rejected but undeterred, Netflix kept going. In 2000, it introduced its subscription model. Pay a flat fee, keep DVDs as long as you want, get new ones when you return them. No late fees, no stress. It was a game changer. Customers loved the simplicity. By 2002, Netflix had 600,000 subscribers and went public. By 2005, it had over 4 million. Still small compared to Blockbuster, but growing fast. The company obsessed over user experience, personalized recommendations, smart logistics, and fast shipping. Netflix was becoming a tech company, not just a rental service. Blockbuster strikes back. Too late, Blockbuster finally realized the threat. In 2004, it launched its own DVD by mail service, copying Netflix's model. It was too little too late. By then, Netflix had a loyal user base, better logistics, and a stronger tech foundation. Blockbuster's digital push was clumsy, rushed, and underfunded. Internal conflicts didn't help. Blockbuster's leadership was torn between protecting its stores and adapting to online. Some executives feared cannibalizing their own business. Others were paralyzed by declining profits. By 2007, Blockbuster was bleeding. It had over $1 billion in debt. Store traffic was down. Late fees, once a profit center, were now a liability. And Netflix was just getting started. Streaming, the real disruption. In 2007, Netflix made its boldest move yet. Streaming. The company launched Watch Instantly, a feature that lets subscribers stream movies online. The catalog was limited at first, but the vision was clear. The future wasn't in discs. It was in data. Streaming eliminated shipping costs, delays, and inventory. It also allowed instant gratification, a critical consumer desire. As broadband internet improved, so did Netflix's product. Blockbuster tried to respond. It partnered with Enron to develop a streaming service years earlier, but scrapped it when the dot-com bubble burst. Later attempts failed to gain traction. By the time Blockbuster offered streaming, Netflix had already become a household name. Blockbuster's collapse in 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. The once mighty chain was now a relic. There were many reasons: digital disruption, crushing debt, leadership turnover, and failure to innovate. But the root cause was mindset. Blockbuster believed it was too big to fail. It saw Netflix as a quirky startup. It ignored the changing habits of its customers. As Netflix grew, Blockbuster shrank. Its final stores closed in the early 2010s, except for one in Bend, Oregon, now a nostalgic tourist attraction. Netflix almost kills itself. Ironically, just as Netflix was celebrating victory, it nearly imploded. In 2011, CEO Reed Hastings announced that Netflix would split into two companies, one for streaming, Netflix, and one for DVDs, Quickster. Users would need 2 logins, 2 bills, and 2 sites. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Customers revolted. Stock price tanked. Hastings reversed the decision. But the damage was done. It was a reminder even disruptors can lose their way. Reinventing Netflix. Original content. To survive and thrive, Netflix needed more than just distribution. It needed control. So in 2013, it released its first original series, House of Cards. The gamble paid off. Critics raved. Subscribers grew. And Netflix realized it wasn't just a tech company, it was a studio. From there, the hits kept coming. Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, The Crown, Narcos, and more. By 2018, Netflix was spending billions annually on content. It became both platform and producer, reshaping Hollywood in the process. The streaming wars begin. Success attracts competition. Soon, Netflix faced rivals on all sides: Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, Apple TV+, and more. Each had advantages: Disney's IP, Amazon's budget, HBO's prestige. But Netflix had brand loyalty, a global footprint, and years of data. To stay ahead, Netflix expanded globally, invested in local language content, and experimented with interactive formats like Bandersnatch. It wasn't just defending its turf, it was expanding it. The legacy and the lessons today: Netflix has over 230 million subscribers worldwide. Blockbuster has 1 store left. But this isn't just a story of winners and losers. It's a lesson in innovation, humility, and adaptation. Netflix succeeded because it embraced change. Blockbuster failed because it resisted it. And both companies made mistakes, big ones. In the end, the story of Netflix vs. Blockbuster is a reminder: no empire is too big to fall. No startup is too small to rise. And in the age of disruption, the only constant is change. Thanks for watching How They Built Biz. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our channel for more stories about the companies that shaped and reshaped the world.